bem-vindos. Eu sou Fabiana Regiane da Costa, presidente da Comissão de Educação do Conselho Regional de Fonoaudiologia, segunda região. Nós temos a fonoaudióloga colaboradora, Ana Elisa de Belotti Nogueira Batista, que nos apoia nesse projeto, e o professor Didier Jourdan é o nosso convidado a participar aqui do nosso projeto. Professor, na sua trajetória acadêmica e profissional, como que surgiu essa aproximação com a fonoaudiologia? E a partir dessa experiência na formação de estudantes e em suas pesquisas, como o senhor percebe as contribuições da fonoaudiologia para fortalecer os processos de inclusão, participação e promoção de saúde nos contextos educacionais?
Thanks very much for this question. And I would say, for me, I'm a specialist in the field of public health, and especially in relationship to the population of children and young people. The answer is obvious. The development of human beings directly depends on the acquisition of language and the capacity to manage language. So if you want to create the condition for the educational success and for the health of the people, by definition, you have to ensure that they are able to build the needed capacities in the field of speech and language. This is something extremely basic and evident. For some children, of course, there's no problem. There's a kind of process just because, for example, in the family, the parents are speaking to the kids, they are reading children's books, and then the process of development of the language is pretty fluid. There's no specific difficulties linked to the learning process. But there's kids for which it's not evident. It could be for, I would say, physiological reasons, for neurophysiological reasons. It could be for social reasons, just because we know that the social environment of the children influence directly the way in which they learn how to speak, just simply for the reason of the number of words that they listen during infancy. So for many reasons that are biological, that are environmental, that are social, some of that kids are facing difficulties in the field of speech and language. Again, two faces of the same coin. So we need to ensure for these kids the needed support for them to be able to manage the language in a way that will open for them all the possibilities for their development. That's why I would say then naturally we worked with the speech therapist, because they are the specialists of these issues linked to language and learning, and then to the development of the key competencies that every human being needs to manage to be healthy. So I would say that the connection is absolutely natural, and again, research shows that you cannot ensure the academic success of all kids from an inclusion perspective without this capacity of preventing the difficulties linked to the language, and when there's problem, to take care of the kid with programs that are relevant for them. So this connection between language, speech therapist and health promotion is just, I would say, a normal connection, just because language, again, is at the very core of the developmental process of every single human being on this planet. Concerning now the way in which we are working, I'm in charge at UCA of the training of the speech therapists in the field of health promotion. And then what we are doing with them is to help them from the beginning of their training to build a professional identity that includes, of course, the individual relationship with the patient, but also the collective dimension of the activity of the speech therapist. It's not evident. Very often the young people have in mind that they're gonna do the checking, that they're gonna implement the program, that they don't support, young kids with dyslexia or with having troubles in mathematics. But we have from the start to say, no, you're right, it's part of the job, but there's another part, which is connected first to prevention. How could the speech therapist, we are the best specialists in the language, in the ecosystem of life of the kids, how can they contribute to prevent some of the difficulties? And there's many initiatives that you know here in Brazil in relationship, for example, to children's books. And secondly, from a collective point of view, being involved as one of the key actors of the promotion of the health of the young people at local level, around the school, and in the interaction with the community. So yes, language, speech, health promotion, there's a natural relationship. And in our experience, what is the most important thing is this question of the professional identity of the speech therapist, being extremely performant when it's about taking care of the kids who have special needs, but it's also being extremely engaged and committed with the other professionals at a local level in order to create the condition for a positive development of language for every children and every child and every adolescent.
Very nice. Thank you again. It's enlightening to hear from you and from this experience and this point of view that's not just here in Brazil, but throughout the world. Thank you so much.
Obrigada, professor Didier. Fiquem ligados e acompanhem o próximo episódio.